AMS2 GT1 cars, hero cars comparison. Stay tuned. Alright, what's going on, everybody? We are going to be driving my personal favorite era of racing, GT1 class. Basically, started out with stuff like the McLaren F1, turned into LMP, basically. So we're in AMS2. We got the Nissan R390. We got McLaren F1 GTR. Actually, the long tail version. CLKLM, so it has the V8, and then the 1998 Le Mans winner 911 GT1. Looking forward to this. We're gonna do no assist, no traction. We're gonna figure out what track we're gonna do, so stay tuned for that. But really excited to drive these. These are hero cars for a lot of people in my age group, so stay tuned.
Bet on it. You got this to play it. You better figure it out, homeboy. Go get some energy. What out? Go get some energy drinks or something. I'm not tired. Famous last words.
Oh man,
you're on a fucking hot one right there, man. George, do you feel that? You feel it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
You can feel it in the floor, bro.
Look at that.
The tires, bro. Holy shit.
It's just the outside.
It's dead. Oh my god, bro. That tires are gone, bro. You gotta get a new tire. You broke your tire. Your tire is broken here.
So,
how was it, David?
The GT1 cars are no joke. I think that's the fastest I've ever gone in the 911, and it's 119. Flying. So yeah, that's the Porsche.
So yeah, that's the Porsche.
We're gonna keep going. Yeah, we'll see where we end up ranking them at. Anderson though is I usually don't drive with all the assist off, so we're gonna see if that changes where the cars kind of rank, but yeah, so far so good.
Action.
All right, Laguna Seca. I'm blowing it on the corkscrew.
Initial thoughts on the GT1, man. What do you think about it so far, man?
I originally probably it could be this setup, but the power delivery is a lot better than I remembered it. A lot more drivable. I'm like a super Porsche fan, but it wasn't my favorite to drive. After that, I'm like surprised.
Again, it could be the wheelbase, but I have the same take that David does. The GT1 on initially what I thought it should feel like. It was it's easy to kick out. Very easy. The boost comes on very, very quick and very, very hard. But on this, it feels like you're going to warp speed, man. Like, it really does feel like you're going into warp speed.
Look at that gameplay.
But no, it feels like you're going into warp speed. So, GT1 is done. We're going to move on to the next car. And then we'll give you our initial impressions of that car after this. Tomorrow morning, we need to ask Tara if she can feel the vibrations. Because if she can, we need to put something underneath it. No, it's fine, it's too late. It's hard to know. But we need to put something underneath to soak up the vibrations. Like some rubber stoppers or something. So the vibrations don't go across the floor. Or the floor, or the feet. Because I can feel that. Look, I can feel that. So I can only assume it's vibrating the wall.
You're fucking tripping.
Alright, y'all, so we just got done driving the Merc. I like to gaslight David a little bit on cars that he likes, just for the fun of it, but this car is nasty. So, while the Porsche, I feel like, was really fast around the straights and whatnot, this car is really fast coming out of turns, like really, really fast. Not to say that the Porsche had any turbo lag or anything like that, or felt like it had any turbo lag, but because this is a 5.5 liter V8, you know, coming out of the turns, the torque that you have coming out, it just punches it. Yeah, I mean it's a
C9 V8 without the turbo.
It is nasty. The grip, I feel like the Porsche had a little more grip. That's just my opinion. But coming out of the turns is where I make up a lot of the time in this car. Just because the power delivery is so raw, just coming out of everything. It's like whatever time you missed on the straight or every time you missed somewhere else, you'll make up, because the minute you come out of that turn, boom, you're already there. There's no lag, there's no anything. You're not waiting on anything. Power delivery is there. So it's a good car. It's a very good car.
That engine is tough. Hey, can you tag my TikTok?
I'm posting this on the sim racing page, but I'm gonna tag you. Does Apex have a Facebook?
It has a TikTok and a Facebook.
You want me to tag you as David or you as Apex?
Just do Apex, it's fine.
I don't know if I'm friends with Apex. Let me see.
It's not a page. It's not a like page as a person. It's like do you like Apex? The faster version of one of my favorite cars of all time. The engine is just so dominant, but I think it's pretty compliant too. It doesn't make as much torque as the Merc, so it's a little easier to get on the gas and kind of let it wind up. Again, this is like all-time greats for me. You know what I'm saying? So. It's the business. One more car left, Nissan. Funny enough, Nissan actually is the base of the new modern, well, the 3.8, so 12C, 650, 570S. It's actually the heart of those. McLaren bought that Nissan engine and then modernized it for its stuff. So we're gonna go there next, and then we're gonna wrap it up talking about all four of them. That GT1 gameplay when the guy was driving the Elise at Paul Ricard.
On what? On a setup?
Life.
Oh, for sure.
I think I tagged you in it when you were sending me the Nissan Altima.
That was $1 million.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, you know what I just sent you? Yeah, I didn't let that one slide.
Yeah, I remember that.
I said, all the cool shit I just sent you.
You sent me an Altima.
You sent me a fucking Altima. Recording?
Yeah. They only have one car mod for AMS2. For AMS1 though, they have a ship.
Harsh on this one.
You don't like it?
It feels like a slightly buffered GT3 car. everything else feels like
Damn.
feels like a prototype.
Damn, bro. No, it didn't win, but fuck.
No, like even the way it breaks, it feels like it's just not going good. Go ahead.
All right, y'all. So while the R390 is one of my favorite cars of all time, I just feel like, and David agrees with. David's the first one to bring it up. Actually, what did you say about it?
I said it felt like a more powerful GT car as opposed to the CLK and the F1 and the 911 feeling like prototypes.
And what's funny is
This feels like a real car.
I agree more with him on this one as well. This one just doesn't feel as gritty. It's not as raw coming out of the turns. It doesn't have the torque that you want. You know what's funny is that it's very easy to drive. I think that out of all the cars, I feel like it probably is the easiest one to drive. But as far as like the power out of the turns, the rawness goes, it just doesn't feel like it's there. David's opinion on it feeling like a GT3 car almost is kind of funny because even like the turn-in, as you see me locking up there, the turn-in feels like a GT3 car. It doesn't feel like it has the grip of a GT1 car.
Yeah, it's... I mean, it kind of... It's the same thing in real life. You couldn't tell they had the least amount of money, and it's a good car, but at the same time, it's just not to the extreme that the other ones are.
So, it's going to kind of be our final verdict. But first things first, we wanted to give a little about the class. So, as David said in the beginning, these are kind of filled with our hero cars.
Hero cars.
These are our hero cars that we remember since like Gran Turismo, you know, like the first couple Gran Turismo games. These are the hero cars from those types of games, you know.
Yeah.
It's what we remember Le Mans being, I guess.
Yeah.
When we were kids.
This is peak Le Mans.
Exactly.
And I think doing it with no assist and only way it would have been more legit is if they had the earlier versions of the GT1s.
Right.
I mean, they got the long tail, they got the most extreme 911. Only way it would be more authentic is if we had sequential or H pattern.
For sure.
And
totally
like
agree.
a round Jeep, like the real deal.
It feels wrong driving it on paddles. Essentially, that's just what it comes down to. But
yeah,
we wanted to simulate the experience as much as we could with each car. So no assist, as you can see in some of these, we're locking up because we're used to driving in ACC and stuff like that has ABS and stuff like that. The traction, not too much of a big deal, but the ABS definitely is a huge difference between driving these cars. But
I think the ABS, it kind of kicked my butt because I couldn't adjust the bias.
Right.
I thought these cars would at least have that.
Right.
But no, they don't have brake bias. It's just really they're just as raw as they can be for the time period.
Completely agree. And that was an unrestricted class, wasn't it? Where you had to sell a certain amount of cars, if I remember correctly.
It started that way, but it kind of...
And then everyone sold like one or made one.
Yeah,
like GT1 has that one.
Yeah, it just turned into that. But
as far as the cars go, getting into the first one, just the Porsche. So love the sound of it. First of all, the turbos sound amazing. Mm-hmm. The car itself, the way it drives, is you feel like you're in warp speed almost. It is absolutely a rush to drive that car. The turbos have no lag, nothing. That car could do no wrong for me, especially on. Again, we don't want to bring the wheelbase bias into it, but especially on this, each of these cars definitely felt different from when we have driven them in the past. So, the GT1 is definitely
Laguna Seca Raceway GT. The 911. I thought the turbos would kind of kick my butt when they boost kicks in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That didn't happen, and it held. You know, like after the corkscrew, there's that fast left. It held and didn't step out one time.
Nope.
So
sure didn't. That car's pretty planted.
I think I'm gonna put that at 3, but it's like they're like boom, boom, boom. Actually, I'm gonna put that at 2.
Yeah, so that would be my number 2 as well.
I'm gonna put that at 2.
I'm gonna put it at number 2.
Did we just agree?
Yeah, we did. That's crazy.
Okay.
We're gonna agree on the rest of them. I have a feeling too.
No, we're not.
All right. So moving on to the Mercedes. The Mercedes is, if the Porsche is warp speed, the Mercedes is like hyperspace for me. It's really fast.
Vettel does the one.
The one.
Hey, that's one for me.
So David's gonna be surprised about this, but honestly, driving all of them, McLaren was my number 1. But the way that the COK is able to come out of the turns and the power band that it has, it's actually gonna be my number 1.
Don't steal my car.
I feel like
don't steal my car.
I feel like
for the past 3 months, I'm gonna get the McLaren.
I never said I was taking it. Never said I was taking it, but it is definitely my number 1.
It's funny.
The power band, the way that the V8 acts coming out of the turns is absolutely ridiculous. I was able to make up so much time just on throttle control coming out of a turn. Just coming out of it.
I'm actually curious now because I know that's in a version of the C9.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta find out if it's dual overhead cam or like I'm curious now.
Hey, them buying an F1 helped out, man.
It feels like yeah. And that's always been the one for me. Like, the Porsche jumped up like a lot, but that's always been number 1 for me.
It's funny because we struggled driving the Porsche for a while, and even the Mercedes I've struggled with a little bit, but for some reason it just feels so planted. It really is. It's hard to explain how it feels, but I felt like on some of the turns I was making mistakes on here and there, I was just in warp speed and warp mode. I could make up the time so much. So Mercedes at number 1. Obviously, we said Porsche number 2. McLaren, onto the McLaren. How did you feel about the McLaren?
The McLaren, it's funny enough, like I expected that V12 to kind of be like nothing, and then like boom.
Right.
And it's mean up top.
It is.
But
I feel like it's unstable though sometimes.
It kicked a lot. I'm like,
yep.
It's kind of wiggling.
I feel like it's wiggling.
I feel like I lost so much time.
That is exactly how I felt.
But you know what else is funny about us? This comparison though. When we were racing, me at my house, you here. Mm-hmm. Before you did this, we were doing assist because we wanted to broaden how many people race.
Yeah.
When we did that, the McLaren was better.
Number 1.
Now that we did it with it off, it's kind of like,
It's funny because the entire time David was over here and we've been doing this video, I've been saying Mackey's is going to be number 1.
He was actually, he gives all the cars I like a hard time. But, you know, he said what he said about the Merc. He was like, oh, no, it's trash. I'm like, maybe I don't drive it too often without assist. I'm like, let me do it without assist and see. And I did it. I was like, yeah, bro, you're tripping.
Yeah.
Like, it's still the favorite.
Yeah.
But
absolutely, the McLaren wants to step out on you.
The McLaren though,
it's a little unstable, but I think that's what's fun about it, is that it wants to kill you, and that's cool.
I think
it acts like a GT1 car, that's for sure.
I think on certain tracks, the McLaren would definitely be the one to beat though.
Driving it on Suzuka, so the Mercedes on this track is how I've always felt about the McLaren on Suzuka. Like it's just on rails and hyper speed.
We do drive Suzuka a lot.
That's true. Moving on to the 4th one.
Disappointment out of
the disappointing stepchild. The
Nissan.
The Nissan is just
it felt the most like a traditional GT car, while everything else felt like LMP cars that looked like their respective brands. That felt like a GT car.
So if it puts it into perspective for you, on the other 3 cars, I pulled a 118, a 117, and a 118. So all my lap times were pretty stacked on top of each other. I didn't try my hardest to pull those times either. It just flowed. It flowed with the cars. This one was hard for me to drive fast.
Yeah, it was. I was driving and he's, I forget what you said, but I was like, no, I definitely was trying. It just didn't feel good.
Yeah.
Like,
and I the turn in is weird. I feel like it doesn't grip as much as the other cars. Could be our settings, could be something. I don't know. Maybe you guys out there are alien speed with this car.
I just think, to real life, I think everything else was a broke GT1 car turned to LMP. This is still a GT car.
It didn't do bad in its class, though, back in the day.
It got 5th overall.
That's not terrible.
Not terrible, that's great. There's 3 of each car.
Right.
So 9 cars, and they got like 5th and 6th overall. So it's a good car, but I chalk that result up more to difficulties of Le Mans than I do.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair.
Like, yeah.
You gotta finish. You gotta make it there.
To finish first, you must finish.
You gotta make it there. So no, I totally agree. But let us know what your thoughts are about these cars. Our opinions obviously aren't the end all be all on these cars. We're just 2 guys who have a setup who are driving them. But to us, these cars are royalty.
Yeah.
The only cars that might be even more royalty to me are the Group C cars.
Which, that's another video.
That's another video right there when we get a round wheel.
I'll bring my Moza over and pop that shit on. But it doesn't have the plug-in.
The plug-in, right.
Anyway, I think this GT1, or the R390, would be best with the F1 LM or F1 GTR as opposed to long tail. Yeah. And 996 as opposed to 99 Straubing version.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And
completely.
CLK GTR as opposed to LM. Like every single time with that class, the cars just got crazier and crazier.
Yeah. Which is wild because it's like they just said, "Go at it, boys. Have fun."
Yeah, it was very competitive. Like, all right, I don't care what it takes. On topic, I found out watching one of the videos here, Mercedes just blatantly bought a McLaren F1
and re-engineered it.
They put their engine in there, moved the driver's seat over, and then put it back together and sold it on some ghost.
Yep.
Sold it at some ghost guy that nobody knows.
Yep.
Like, oh, this VIN number was the one they took apart. No, like that. That's how.
That's how crazy. They were going to war, man.
Yeah.
They were going to war.
All right, guys. First off, thanks for watching. You made it this far. Comment below your favorite car you would drive here. Gonna work on doing these Sim Saturdays. Trying to get a group together between GT1 and GTE. I like GT1 a little more because it's raw. So feel free to comment down below. We can start working on getting the time set up. Trying to push good old green hell. My hands hurt. But we coming up on my favorite section of the track. Like I said, I don't know if we're still open for discussion on it really. Sprint race, longer races, multi-class races. Still trying to figure all that stuff out, but definitely trying to work on getting servers together, getting a group together. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna get my video going through my favorite section, and that's to end the lap. Yeah, I'm struggling, man, but I'm gonna go quiet, get my favorite section here, end the episode there. Yeah, this is it right here. We used to drive the Aston GT1 car and the Corvette C6R.
Yeah. Forza?
Neck and neck, boy. We be side by side going down this last part. I'm giving this front right tire a lot of trouble. Every car I've driven, that poor front right tire. Yeah, this my favorite section of the track. See if I can send it.
Oh!
Ah! When you get that part right, that's the best part of the lap. I'm fine. I changed the view.
Are you stuck? Oh.
I don't know what button I did to change the view.
Start pushing shit. There you go.
There you go. Oh, we'll put the pretty car on display. Ah, listen to that sound. So now I gotta downshift
it. Smoke everywhere.
That is the best, one of the most intense ways to end a lap. And with that, we're gonna end the comparison. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you guys follow Josh's page. I'll link him down below. And Apex out.